Stephen Hay groomed by anti-Muslim gang leader Jonny, played by Quinn, as he turns him into a far-right extremist. Popular character Stephen Hay has been at the center of endless major storylines during his time on the show, and January 2019 will see him become the face of another groundbreaking plot. Actor Quinn recently made his debut as sinister new character Jonny, who unbeknown to anyone is the leader of a new far-right group set to target the troubled village. It has now been revealed in fine detail that Jonny is set to turn his attention to Stephen as part of an ongoing grooming plot. When Muslim mum Misbah Malik performed surgery with a broken hand on Stephen's sister Tegan Lomax that resulted in her death, the tragedy is set to have far-reaching consequences. As Jonny watches Stephen venting his rage at Misbah over her actions, he spots an opportunity to strike and begins indoctrinating the vulnerable, grief-stricken brother into a far-right extremist as he reaches rock's bottom. Further disaster strike when Misbah's abuser son Imran Malik burns down Stephen's food van business, which kicks off a dangerous feud with the damaged family. When the anti-Muslim gang's intentions are exposed, Stephen will face a battle to escape as he falls ever deeper into their trap. Stephen actor Kieran Richardson said of his character's shock upcoming drama, after many years of love stories and heartbreak, which has left the character feeling vulnerable and at times isolated, it's very believable for Stephen to be receptive to people who might not have his best interests at heart. At first, hearing this story, I was unaware of what radicalization was or meant, and after a lot of eye-opening research I'm nervous and honored, but most of all excited for this very different soap story, to be told by our gutsy, amazing team and hugely talented new scene partner Quinn. Misbah actress Harvey Verdi said of the upcoming plot, "Hollyoaks is taking a bold step to highlight racism from far-right extremism. We can make people aware of the far-right preying on the vulnerable and manipulating them into being radicalized. It's something that needs to be talked about, how these groups actively use social media to target vulnerable, lost people and become a key part of their life and try and influence how they see the world is quite scary. I am glad to be involved in such an important issue." Soap boss Brian Kirkwood said of the decision to take on the storyline, "From the research we carried out, we realized that in Stephen Hay we had a character that was disenfranchised and vulnerable enough to be groomed into extreme views. The more we learned about how these groups operate and how insidious they are, the more passionate we became about telling this story, which is about how hate and fear can destroy communities. It's also a modern story about protecting young people online who are susceptible to fake news, the echo chambers of the internet and the algorithms that can lead people, in this case our much-loved character Stephen, down a rabbit hole into a terrifying world. This story will show how this can happen and how difficult it can be then to escape from. We have a proud history of exploring hard-hitting issues like self-harm and sexual abuse at 6:30 p.m. In the same way we hope to engage people in an issue they may not have previously been aware of. Author Jamie Bartlett, who worked closely with the Hollyoaks team on the big story, said, "It's vital that we get beyond the caricatures and understand the way extremists really operate. Often their appeal is about more than the ideology, playing on local dynamics, exploiting legitimate personal grievances or even just seeming to provide a purpose and meaning. We rarely see beyond the headlines into how radicalization really plays out in people's lives, so having the chance to see the storyline unfold slowly over time will help viewers understand the reality of these groups, why and how people end up getting sucked in." A spokesperson for Exit UK, who also worked alongside the show on the plot, said, "We welcome Hollyoaks' vision for using their platform to highlight the impact of extremism on individuals, families and broader society. We were pleased to offer our support and advice and praise the writing staff, actors and production crew for attempting to address such a difficult topic. All extremist groups, not just the far right, exploit individuals and their weaknesses to further their agenda. As a society, we should not shy away from discussing and highlighting difficult issues such as far right or any form of extremism." The teen soap is set to become the first to tackle the major issue that has gripped Britain as radicalisation and extremism, including terrorism, continues to claim lives across the UK. Recent figures of referrals to the government's anti-radicalisation programme include 61% of Islamic extremists and 16% from the far right. The Malik family have endured more than their fair share of drama since their recent arrival, including the ongoing domestic abuse plot between Dr. Misbah and her violent son Imran, who viewers saw was the cause of her fateful broken hand. What will Stephen and Jonny do to the Malik family? Who else will the political group target? Will Stephen or Jonny end up in prison or on a de-radicalization program? What do you think of Stephen's new storyline? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching SoapBuster, YouTube's daily soap news and spoilers show. Subscribe below for the next episode.